Hello, you guys. Welcome. It's me, Danyell Carmelita, your favorite tarot reader and astrologer. Today we are talking about Donald Trump's new VP, JD Vance. We're going to break him down astrologically. So if you want to know the tea on him, because I don't know anything about him besides his astrology chart, then you came to the perfect place. I'm also going to pull some tarot. So let's get started. Okay, so I have to give the disclaimer that we do not have a birth time for Mr. JD Vance, and I think that should be a crime. I'm hoping as he becomes more popular, that will be released. I mean, because he's pretty young. So, and he was born in America. I would like to know that story of why he doesn't have a birth time. Anyway, but we'll see how that goes. So first I want to say he's a Leo sun. Huge energy already. Leo already represents leadership, so there we have that. The sun is in domicile in the sign Leo, meaning that it's at home, it's very comfortable. But if we just go off his sun sign alone, he is a leader. He's not scared of conflict. He's very courageous. He's very passionate. He takes the center stage. He can lead others. Honest is what we get usually with Leo energy, and charming. So I'm getting excited to hear some of his passionate talks or speeches. Now, because, I love to start with an ascendant, we can't do that. We're going to jump over to the moon, and he is a moon in Libra. I was asking my husband, who is all about politics right now, I asked him, was he a lawyer? And apparently he was in law. That makes sense. That's very Libra energy. For example, if you look at Kim Kardashian, her going into law, that makes sense, right? Okay, she's a Libra. Not that all Libras have to go into law, but, politics, Libra, it goes hand in hand to me. But because he has a Libra moon, partnerships are also probably really important to him. So this partnership with Donald Trump is going to enhance him in some way. Of course, we already know that. And I wonder what his mom does. I don't know anything about his parents' relationships. My husband told me that his grandparent raised him. So I want to look back into that, and we'll rediscover some things after I really read his story. But this is just me going off of everything I can do just from the chart and not knowing anything about him. But because he has that Libra moon, without looking at any aspects, usually a Libra moon person is charming. They love harmony and balance, and they really don't want conflict, and could emotionally could be passive aggressive. Now, speaking of the aspects, and before we get into the other planets, I want to talk about his sun squaring Saturn. Saturn is in the sign Scorpio, and that sun in Leo is very strong already, right? And it has some clashes with authority. Saturn represents structure, boundaries, rules, and authority, or maybe even society structures. So I'm thinking control in some way. He has some tension with it. Leo has a need for freedom and creativity, and he probably has some issues with his parents as well, if they set any rules or structures with him. Maybe his grandparent, being that he was raised by his grandparents. So this square just means basically that he may have some issues or conflict with any type of authority versus his individual self, versus him expressing himself. There could be some control issues there, maybe some intense emotions. Saturn is very rigid. Scorpio is very intense. So I wonder if he has problems showing his vulnerability. We'll get more into it. Now, also too, I want to say that the work-life balance, right? The ego and Saturn also being in charge of a career. There may be some challenge there. Maybe he overworked. I wonder what the issue is there. But there is some reoccurring conflicts, I'm sure, with parental guidance as a child, teachers, mentors, anyone who was an influence over him, like father figure. He probably didn't get along with him. This is just me going off of the chart. Now, interesting, the sun in Leo is conjunct a fixed star, and the fixed star is called Giensar. I don't know how to pronounce the fixed stars, so I'm just going to put it up. Now, this is going to connect when we talk about Donald Trump a little bit later, but it's at 10 degrees. And when you have a fixed star conjunct any planet, that planet kind of takes over the energy of that fixed star. So this fixed star is about penetrating an analytical mind. There's traveling, someone who has a lot of friends, very crafty, very clever, very original. There's a sense of danger and robbery, maybe even accidentally poison. That is what the fixed star represents, and it's connect his sun. Okay, also represents a transition and a beginning and an end, this star. So there's probably a lot of transitioning happening. And okay, so let's go back and how it connects to his sun, which represents his ego and his soul, right? And again, leadership. So there's some leadership and change here because it does represent a transition. And he's having a transition currently as I'm filming this video. And usually they find themselves helping others in this transition. So this is probably happening and he's probably helping Trump. Let's see how this goes when he's running for VP. People who have this fixed star next to their sun, there is some significant life transitions. And he's very attuned with beginning and endings of cycles. He loves change and sees it as an opportunity for growth and renewal. There's natural leadership qualities with this conjunction, and he's likely to shine during any transition. So this transition from him going to, I think, Senate to VP, he's loving it. It works. He can work really well with this. And anyone with this conjunction, they work really well, leading others through change. Now, remember that Sun is not only conjunct that fixed star, but it's also squaring Saturn. And Saturn represents limitations and fear. So he might fear these transitions, even though he's good at it, especially in Scorpio. It might intensify the fear, but we'll get into that a little bit more as we continue the connection of his chart with Trump's. Now his sun is trining Uranus, so he's very good. Again, we have this change here because Uranus is all about flexibility and expect the unexpected, and he has a great harmonious aspect with his ego and how he's doing things and achieving things, would expect the unexpected. Being a boss is very natural for him, especially with things that are very worldwide, and Uranus is in the sign Sagittarius, so that's very fitting. He may have a need for freedom and independence with this trine, but it works for him. He could be very optimistic. He could be very open-minded. He could be very progressive with his thoughts, with his outlook. I wonder if he is good with social media because you do have Uranus, the planet of technology in the future, and the sign Sagittarius, which is very worldwide. Just something I just thought of. Now the sun and the sign Leo, which represents that leadership, is also sextile Chiron in Gemini. This is someone who's really good at writing, someone who's really good at healing with writing. My husband told me he did write a book. That makes sense with this aspect. And I wonder if it's something about healing or his life story. He can really heal others through his words, maybe even with his life story, right? But there's enhanced communication skills, creativity, being adaptable and flexible and mutable through his words and situations, through healing, and able to connect with others in a very meaningful way. Now, Mars is in the sign Scorpio, and I would say his chart, but we'll just say while he was born because we don't have a time for him. And anytime someone is born with the Mars in Scorpio without any looking at their aspects and where the house placement of the planet, I would say that they move in secret. There's mysterious energy about them. They never want to reveal their strategies. Very mysterious. It's in secret because Mars represents conflict and aggression. Seeks hidden truth, so maybe they're really good at detective work too. Could be obsessed with power because Scorpio does represent obsession and power. Could be protective, determined because it's a fixed sign, Scorpio. Desires for control. Also, transformation and psychology is huge with Scorpio. So the energy of transforming things. You know, Mars in Scorpio usually could be like plastic surgeons, depending on a placement, how it's related to the other houses, how it is in their houses and how it's related to other planets. You know, there is a fixed star connected to this Mars. However, it may be 1 degree off. So I'm just going to throw this out here just in case it's not. When I look it up, it says it's 22 degrees Scorpio. But when I put it on my program, it says it's 21 degrees Scorpio. So I think he has a 22 degrees Mars in Scorpio. This may not work because the fixed stars do move very slowly in orbit, okay? But if it is conjunct, I'm just going to quickly explain that it could be conjunct. I will put the name of the fixed star here, the Alpha Serpentis fixed star. And that's usually intense aggression, temptations, and ethical dilemmas, can intensify emotional experiences, a risk of violence and accidents, destructive tendencies, a need for control and power that could lead to manipulation and power struggles in relationships in all areas of his life. So if he does have this conjunction, just look out for it. But if we don't see it, let's just move on. I mean, it kind of discussed a lot of presidents anyway, or people of power, but whatever, we'll move on. What I do want to say is that the Mars in Scorpio is squaring his Venus in Leo. So I, from the jump, just looking at this, said he does not like female bosses. So I'm pretty sure... So any woman who's in charge, he's got conflict. There's tension there for him. Sure, he might be attracted to it. However, he doesn't want to work with it, or it doesn't help him when he's trying to achieve his goals. Now he has a Mercury in Virgo. So he's very rational. He's very logical, critical thinker, very intelligent, could be very detailed anytime someone has a Mercury in Virgo. Meticulous, concise, clear when communicating, focused on work and usually self-improvement. They could even be focused on health as well. Very self-disciplined and kind of energy. Now it's trining Jupiter, very optimistic. He's really working with his communication skills, is working for him. There's optimism. I don't know if he was born in the daytime, but if he is, this is really working for him. Also, depending where Mercury is in his chart, this is like amazing energy for everything that I discussed with Mercury in Virgo. Mercury is already at home in the sign Virgo, so communication is his major key part, hence why he wrote that book. If it's a great book and maybe it's going to be selling more, I'm curious now to even buy it, because I am an avid reader, so I'm interested in that. He does have clear and effective communication, and when he talks, luck is on his side. There's optimism there. Also, I forgot to say that squaring his nodes, so there's some learning and growth he needs to do with communication, and a lot of conflicts with communicating as well. And that Leo energy is going to bring some conflict, so let's get ready for that. Mercury is also sextiling Saturn. His Mercury has a lot of positive aspects connected to it. So he could be a person who's very wise, has a great sense of timing, and also thinking long term as well. Some negative aspects Mercury has is squaring Uranus. So it doesn't go well with change when he's trying to, or maybe it doesn't go well with change when he's trying to communicate and think, or maybe he's thinking too fast and is restless with his thoughts. Maybe he has too many original ideas, and it could be difficult for him to put it on paper. He could be impatient, difficulty with stability. Now it's also squaring Chiron in Gemini, so he has this fear of making mistakes because that Virgo energy is a perfectionist. But this is really dealing with his communication and processing information, and maybe he has anxiety when communicating, even though I think he's a good communicator. And I, again, wish I had the time of his birth chart. Now let's connect it with Trump's chart. Hello there, my beautiful souls. I am Danyell Carmelita, your favorite tarot reader and astrologer. Are you ready to take your spiritual journey to the next level? Introducing Danyell's Astro Tarot Elite Club, your exclusive getaway to daily insights, cosmic guidance, and so much more for just $4.99 a month. As a member, you'll receive daily readings designed to align your day with the universe's energy. Start each day with clarity and confidence. Do you need a personal reading, or do you want to have your astrology chart read fully? With being a member, you also can enjoy exclusive discounts on all my offerings just for our elite members only. Do you love my YouTube videos? Do you love my Instagram posts? Also, becoming a member, you get early access to all my content. Be the first to dive into new videos and more before anyone else. Do you have burning questions about your spiritual journey or astrology? Enjoy exclusive Q&A sessions where I will answer all your pressing questions. Plus, get a behind the scenes look of how I prepare my readings and create create my content. You'll see the magic unfold. And for all my astrology lovers, you also get exclusive content like my Mercury retrograde survival kit, detailed guidance for every full moon or every new moon, and more. You'll be able to navigate the cosmos with confidence. All for just $4.99 a month. That's less than a cup of coffee. For a month full of daily guidance, exclusive perks, and unique content. Join Danyell's Astro Tarot Elite Club today and elevate your spiritual path. Click the link in the bio or below to join now and start your journey with us. I can't wait to see you in the club. See you later. Now, when I look at Trump's chart next to his chart, Pluto in Trump's chart is conjunct his sun. Pluto is the planet of transformation and healing and things that could be taboo. But there's intense transformation and growth with this relationship. And Pluto aligned with that sun equals a lot of power and also control. The Pluto person, Trump probably has a lot of influence over VP. I don't know what to call him, Vance. But I wonder if there's some power struggles here because you have that Pluto and Leo conjunct. Because conjunction means good and bad. There could be some potential power struggles or maybe a deep mutual understanding. They're both associated with creativity and self-expression. And when I say self-expression, I mean like being honest, and they can't help but be themselves. Now, remember I told you that fixed star in 10 degrees? Well, Trump has Pluto in 10 degrees in the sign Leo. So again, not only is Pluto representing a transformation, but it's connected to this fixed star that also represents a transformation. So there's some endings and some new beginnings together. So I would say there's some intense transformation happening with this relationship, maybe even a powerful transformation. We'll see how this plays out. Now, Venus in Leo in Vance's chart is also conjunct Mars in Leo in Trump's chart. So I'm thinking that Vance really loves some Trump. He may not, I heard that he didn't like him at first, but I think in this relationship, he really likes him. And together, they're going to be very creative, and people will probably like them together. In Vince's eyes, at least. You can say more in Vince's eyes. But there could be a mutable admiration and a desire for recognition, because we do have that Leo energy that's like, look at me, look at me. Also, the need to validate each other. They both want to be noticed and admired. Now, Mercury in Virgo in Vince's chart conjuncts Trump's ascendant. So when you have it attached to that ascendant, there is more talking and speeches more than ever. They are going to be making announcements of the yin yang, enhanced communication, strong analytical and intellectual connection that they have together, a lot of big mouth energy, mutual understanding and support, share interests and activities. They approach life with the mindset of analytical and practical energy, and a lot of perfection with talking and taking their time when speaking, even though they have that Leo energy that's very passionate and aggressive. Vance's Venus trines Trump's moon in Sagittarius. So again, there is admiration here, mutual enjoyment and fun. Maybe they are going to be adventurous together, but there is an emotional understanding and support. I think they're compatible. Trump's sun in Gemini and his North Node sextile Vance's Venus. So Venus has a lot of aspects in Vance's chart that are very positive with Trump's. So they really enjoy each other socially, and I find that they really like each other. Not saying, but we don't forget we still have that Pluto there though. Now, the North Node conjunct his midheaven and the South Node conjunct his IC. Vance's North Node, his life purpose and his growth in his lifetime, in this lifetime, are closely tied to Trump's career and public image. He was meant to do this in his lifetime, connecting with Trump. Both individuals are likely to benefit and enhance communication and networking skills with this relationship. It very much aligns their intellectual and professional goals. So they have this shared purpose in life. And this influence can probably help Trump's career and his advancement, especially when it comes to his public image. Gemini energy is really focused on communication, learning, and being adaptable. Now, the IC is more karmic and family energy. So they share philosophical beliefs, intellectual pursuits, and a love for exploring and learning, especially when it comes to family and home. Now his south node, Vance's south node and north node squares his ascendant and descendant, Trump's ascendant and descendant. So this is going to be interesting how his future plays out and what he needs to achieve in his lifetime in regards to Trump's relationships with others and open enemies. And also it may conflict with how Trump comes off to the public, which is his ascendant. Okay, so remember I said I was going to pull tarot, and the first tarot card I pulled in regards to Vance being VP is that there is the Wheel of Fortune, and the Wheel of Fortune is about change in role in circumstances. Now remember, there is this huge transformation with him, and it's connected to Trump's Pluto, and there's going to be some type of huge shift, maybe in a new direction of career, or a change in the public's perception, or maybe his responsibilities will shift with Trump's. But there is a huge transformation. Also with this card, there's influence of external forces, and I think there will be a political shift or a global event. Changes are a part of our life cycle, and that is what this card also represents. There could be opportunities for growth for him, ups and downs, because it's what the card also represents. Karmic influences. I mean, it is dealing with his north and south node, and it's so close to Trump's midheaven and his IC. So there is that with karmic. So it is connected. The public and political opinion. Now, this may fluctuate with this card. This card could suggest there is a shift in how the public is supporting him. Maybe there'll be a huge opposition. Let's see how this plays out with him. Now, in regards of the relationship between Trump and Vance, and I apologize if I'm saying his name wrong, if it's VD Vance or whatever, you know who I'm talking about. I pulled the Eight of Cups. Now, if you know anything about tarot, this card represents walking away from what no longer serves you, leaving something behind, emotional disengagement, and a search for fulfillment. And also, again, this card represents transformation. It always makes me think of Scorpio energy, but cups represents relationships. And there may be an emotional distance between the two. And the president and the vice president, future or maybe not future, may have emotional distance. They may not get along. And it makes me think of that Pluto energy. Even though they seem compatible and there's a lot of attention gravitated to them, this may not work. Okay, moving on from old dynamics. Maybe they're changing the system, and maybe they're changing it so much that they're walking away from things that no longer works for the system. They could be a search, both of them, for seeking greater fulfillment in their roles, or maybe with the relationship with each other. Again, this card represents transition, so it could be a period of a transition between the two of them and their responsibilities and their roles, and maybe even their roles with each other. This also could be there's a disillusionment. There's this false energy, there's a disappointment, and there may be an unmet expectation that one has over the other. So you have that. Also, maybe the two could be going on independent paths. And this will be interesting what the cards say. I am so curious to see how this all plays out. That is the Gemini energy in me. I am not a Republican or a Democrat, just to let you know that. And it may sound like I'm one or the other in doing this video, but the truth is that I am not. I am not loyal to either party, and I am very open, and I have to be honest, very entertained between the two, not these two people here, but Trump and Biden and Kamala Harris and all of this, because there's ever since COVID, all this has been new. But anyway, those are the cards, and yes, that is, I would think, an accurate reading. So let's see how this plays out in the future for us. This may be something determined 4 years from now or within 4 years. Let's see how that goes. So that's what I have. This is going to be a very interesting relationship, Trump and Vance. And I'm also very interested in learning more about Vance. If you want to know about Trump and Biden, I've been doing them weekly. I started doing them weekly because after that incident, I said, okay, we're going to keep in touch with them. So I'm doing some predictions about them weekly. I'm also going to break Trump. I have done videos on Trump, so you can look at that. Also, I did a video on Kamala Harris, so you can check that out as well. If you want more, I have more. You can book a reading. I can break down your astrology chart. Just check out the link in the bio. I will see you guys next time. Bye.